Hi everyone, it's Nena, Foxy Mama 365. We're going to be doing the Game of Thrones, the final episode, season 8, episode 6, which is kind of sad. A record number of people watch this episode. I think it's like 17.4 million people watch this episode. And that because of this episode, a lot of people were awake to watch it. So productivity the very next day was going to be low. Really? So you guys are going to go to work and not talk about Game of Thrones all through work? Good luck. They also said that they were going to have therapists. I heard this on Howard Stern show, saying that they're going to have therapists. You know, for people that were not happy with the way it ended, and they needed to talk about it, and they could pay for like $25, $50 for an hour, or so to actually talk about their feelings about what happened on Game of Thrones. Really, that's what we're doing now. Okay, guys. Also, people have been signing a petition. They say over 1 million people have signed a petition that they want the whole season to be redone. I don't think HBO is going to be doing that anytime soon, okay? Moving on, I totally enjoyed it. I don't know, I'm like wondering, what more did you guys want? I mean, I liked it. Just me. But don't come for me, okay? Just my opinion. So we see it. Tyrion is back. He's alive. He's walking through the rubbles and he wants to go alone. So he's going to look for his brother and his sister, hoping that maybe they might still be alive, but they went through the tunnel. But he goes there and he finds them under the rubble and they are dead. And he's very sad. Because I think he believes that his brother, Sir Jaime, shouldn't have died with Cersei. But anyways, that's how they died. They died in the arms of love, and it is what it is. So he's very sad and he's very upset. Next, moving on, we see Queen Daenerys. She's talking to her people. She's like, yes, now we're here. We've won the war, but we're going to continue until the entire world is free. And everybody's like, okay. So her speech is kind of like, okay, now you're queen. What more do you want? But she wants to keep fighting, you know. And everybody's like, okay, this woman is not going to stop until she has liberated everybody, or that she thinks is a slave, or anybody that's in her path. So at this point, we see Tyrion coming up, and he's like, he doesn't want to be the hand, and he takes away the badge of the emblem of being the hand of the queen, and he shoves it down the stairs, and she's like, take him away. So pretty much he gets arrested. And Jon Snow is not really happy about this. And Jon Snow turns around, and who does he see? Arya, his little sister. And he's like, what are you doing here? And she's like, oh, she came to kill the queen. But apparently, Queen Daenerys actually got to Cersei first. So she's like, she doesn't think this is going to end. So Jon Snow says he's going to talk to her, and Cersei's like, and Arya says, I know a killer when I say killer, okay? She's not going to be listening. So Jon Snow asks her to meet him somewhere out of town, that he'll be back, you know. So now we see Jon Snow meeting up with in the jail cell with Lord Tyrion, and they're having a conversation. Now you see, this is where an award conversation actually happens. This is when you see it, you can actually convince a man just by conversation to actually go and kill the love of his life. I totally loved it. So he's talking to him and telling him, and of course we know for sure Jon Snow doesn't want to be king. He doesn't want it in any way, shape or form, you know. But he's saying, but if you don't do it, then we're all going to be slaughtered. The Queen Daenerys, it doesn't look like she's going to be stopping, you know, with her madness anytime soon. So Jon Snow is really torn as to what to do. We'll see. So finally we see Jon Snow meeting up with Daenerys. Daenerys is finally going to see the throne. She doesn't even get to sit on the throne, but she's like, oh, she's kind of in awe. She touches it and she's kind of excited. Jon Snow walks up, and as he's walking in, we see Drogon outside, all covered in snow. But Drogon is like, oh, okay, it's just you, Jon Snow, and he lets him walk through. So he goes and he's meeting with the Queen Daenerys. And as they're having a conversation, Jon Snow is reading into her mind, and he's saying to her, you killed so many people. Have you been out there? Have you seen the rubble? Have you seen the number of dead people? And she's like, yeah, it had to be done. And Jon Snow is like saying, no, Cersei was not really, she had literally given up. You didn't need to kill the people. Those are the people that you came to save. And literally he's saying to her, you've killed more people than the king, Cersei, all of them combined. And he's really not happy. And they're having a conversation, and she's trying to say, well, it's what we think, we're doing the good of people. And Jon Snow is questioning and saying, but how do we know that what we're doing is good? And how do we know that what the other people, you know, were doing wasn't good, you know? And she's like, well, they don't get the choice to pick. We do. And at this point, John is like, he can see right through her, and he's not convinced. Any which ways, she feels she's got to break the wheels, you know? And at this point, she walks up to him and is like trying to hug him and kiss him. And you see where love is a duty. Because at this point, as they're kissing, Jon Snow literally takes a knife and stabs her, and she's in shock. And she goes down, and she's like, oh, she can't believe it, and she's in shock, and she dies. And Jon Snow is literally holding her, and then lays her down. And at this point, Drogon comes up and is like, oh, what have you done? I think he can kind of sense that his mother has been killed. So Drogon comes up and is like, what has Jon Snow done? And Drogon is not having any of it. And he's so upset, he's so angry. And at this point, we literally thought Drogon was going to kill Jon Snow. But he spits fire, and the fire he spits is so hot, it melts the Valyrian's chair, the throne, and all the swords, and everything gets melted. And the dragon is so upset. Eventually, he just looks at Jon Snow and literally just picks up Queen Daenerys, you know, with his claws and flies off. Pity. You can see obviously the Drogon is actually very upset and very sad. Any which ways. Lord Tyrion is still in jail, and he has been asked to be brought to the Council of Elders. And this council, we saw a lot of people that we haven't seen. Notably, we saw, what's his name? The little boy, who was the son, that was a little boy that was still drinking milk. He's actually grown up. I can't remember his name, but I can always check. I'll look for it and put it down in the comment section, you know, for you guys. Anyway, he's grown up, and also there we see Bran Stark, we see Arya Stark, we see Samuel Tarly, we also see Gendry, yep, who's Lord Baratheon's real heir, even though he's no longer a bastard right now. We see Sir Brienne of Tarth, we see Sir Davos is there, so pretty much everybody that is anybody is there. Even Yara Greyjoy is also there, you know, pretty much there were a lot of people there that were like, oh, okay, cool. Now, they don't know who is going to be queen since Queen Daenerys is passed. Now, we only see that the Grey Worm has only brought Lord Tyrion has left Jon Snow in jail, and everybody's like, oh, we were asked to bring both of them, and he's like, well, my people will never have he cannot go free because he killed our queen. And we see one of the Stark daughters, Sansa, say, if you kill him, you see that there are 1,000 Northern lords that will be ready to fight, and you know, for Jon Snow. So it's definitely not going to go down. So we have to work out something. Excuse me. So at this point, Tyrion says, you guys are the council. And as he's trying to speak, we see Grey Worm say, shut up, you're not allowed to talk. You're only here to be seen. And of course, you know, in true Tyrion fashion, he still keeps talking. He's like, you guys are the ones that can make a decision. You are the council of elders. You are the great council. You guys should be able to pick someone, you know, and decide on who you want to be king. So at this point, we see the gentleman that ended up taking the bullet by marrying one of the daughters. He's actually offering himself to actually be king. He said, oh, he's been in 2 wars, and he's, you know, he's one of the people here that is, you know, an elder. And everybody's looking at him and like laughing. And at this point, Sansa looks at him and like, sit down. That was so funny. So he goes and he sits down. So they're like, okay, who else do you want to be king? So they ask Tyrion, and Tyrion's like, he doesn't want to be king. They're like, and then he starts to speak, and he's like, who else can we have as king? Who else can tell the story of our history? Who can tell a story and share a story? Who has lived for so long and who has been there to advise and, you know, seen a lot of stuff? And at this point, he turns and he looks at Brandon Stark. And he says, yes, Bran Stark. And they're like, oh, okay, that actually makes a lot of sense. We weren't seeing this. We didn't know, I didn't see this coming. I was thinking maybe Arya or maybe Sansa, but for sure I didn't see Bran Stark, because he had made it clear to all of us that he didn't want to be, you know. But they're like, who has survived? He actually survived the fall, remember? Where he was pushed by Sir Jaime down, and he survived. He learned to walk, he ran away, he'd been able to go as he learned to become the 3-eyed raven, he was able to fly to see the walkers. So that's pretty much why they're like, oh, and everybody's like, that actually makes good sense. And he seems to be a calm figure, even though he's still not able to walk on his own. So they start asking everybody to kind of like vote, and they're thinking, at this point, we see Samuel Tarly saying, shouldn't we throw the vote out to the people? What next? My horses and my donkeys too will be voting? And we see where democracy is being shoved down, you know. And well, it is what it is. So they decide to take a vote, and most everybody says aye, aye, and they're happy with it. All except Sansa. And Sansa says, I love you, little brother, but guess what? The lords of the north will never bow a knee to you, you know, and we will still be an independent, council, or be an independent kingdom. So everybody's like, alrighty. So either way, it's accepted that he can be the king of the 6 kingdoms. So he gets sworn in by Tyrion. So Tyrion stands up and swears him Lord of the 6 kingdoms, which is kind of cool. I liked it. Any which ways. So moving right along, we're gonna go back to where Tyrion is now speaking with Jon Snow, because they're like, what are they going to do with Jon Snow? And he's speaking with Jon Snow, and he's telling him, well, the answer is we'll not definitely let you go for sure, and you obviously can't be king because now we've elected Bran. But what they have decided is to send you to the wall. And we're all wondering, how the hell did that Great Wall get built so fast? Anyways, just wondering. So Jon Snow feels that it's not right, that he's done so much. You know, obviously he didn't want to be king, but he wanted to be a free man. Well, they say, well, sorry, you can take no wives, you can have no children, you can have no lands. So it's that's the best we could do. And it's kind of sad, but it is what it is. So we see at the end, Sansa is going to be Queen of the North. Arya is going to be heading west. Obviously, Bran is now the king of the 6 kingdoms. And then Sir Jaime Lannister is gone. We see Podrick too is still there. He's still working and he's still there. And now we're having a council meeting. Now at this council meeting, we're seeing all the other people. We see Brienne of Tarth. We see Sir Davos. We also see, who else? Oh, I love Sir Baron of Blackwater. A lot of High Gardens. And Paramount of the Rich and the Master of Coins. And I totally am here for it. And he's like, yeah, he's pretty much has gotten all he wanted, and he has been paid off in full. Now they're having a council meeting, and Bran comes in, and Bran says, has anyone seen the dragon Drogon? Drogon is still nowhere to be found, but apparently he was spotted somewhere east. And he's like, okay, carry on, I'm going to go and look for him. And in my mind I'm thinking, okay, you're going to fly as a raven to look for him, and when you get him, what are you going to do? Because you're not going to be physically able to. Oh, child. Any which ways. So Sir Davos is trying to say we need to try and rebuild, you know, the ships and all of that have been, you know, and he's looking for money. If only the Master of Coins will, you know, lend them the money. Another thing I also thought is, what happened to the money that Cersei Lannister owed to the Great Bank? You know, we never really got to find out if she ever paid off, and because the coins, any which ways, that's part of stuff that was kind of not tied up at the end in my mind, but who knows, maybe I wasn't listening. So Brienne is saying we need the money for the ships, and that's more important. But you see, this Master of Coins, Sir Bronn of Blackwater, is saying no, actually he heard that some of the brothels, the best brothels, were actually burnt down, and we need to rebuild it, and he'll be happy to raise the coins for that. And he and Brienne are speaking, and they're like, Brienne is like, no, I think it's more important for us to build our ship. And so Bran is saying, I don't really think so. I think the brothels are more important. So they're going back and forth. Good luck to that. So now at this point, we also see Jon Snow. He's being taken. He kneels to his sister. He's hugging his sister. And Grey Worm and his army are also going wherever it is that they decide they're going to live happily ever after. And then with Jon Snow is being taken away, he says his last goodbyes to his sisters and his brother, and he's very sad. Arya says she's going west, like I said before, and of course Sansa is going back north, and she's now going to be the queen in the north. So we see Arya being crowned, we see Sansa being crowned. Of course, we also have Bran already been crowned. Arya has gone west in her little boat. She's going to discover what is west of Westeros. And of course, Jon Snow ends up at the Great Wall. But he doesn't end up at the Great Wall, because now we actually see Jon Snow with the wildlings, and they're actually walking out. And at this point, I'm like, okay, is he just taking them there?